say. If they like it, join me, but don't follow me because I'm Fresco. Listen to what I say. If it makes sense, do it. If it doesn't, question the hell out of it. Don't accept anything anybody says without putting it to test.
A lot of activists today are complaining about the system, but they don't pose a workable alternative. That's the difference between the Venus Project and other people who are beginning to state now that there are problems in the society, but they don't say how to eliminate those and what type of society can you have. They don't look at it that way. They look around the problem, but they don't pinpoint that the monetary system itself causes the aberrant behavior and the problems that we have today.
I think we have the capability, if we use our resources intelligently, to take care of everyone.
So the Venus Project advocates a different type of system. We look at what causes the problems and then devise a system so that we can bypass those problems. And we call that a resource-based economy, where all the Earth's resources are held as the common heritage of all the Earth's people. We feel no other way will solve the problems that we have today. And that means that we make goods and services available to everyone without money, barter, credit, servitude, taxation of any kind. And we can do that today with our technology.
So there's no single nation I uphold. I think they're all basically corrupt, because my allegiance is to the earth and all the people of the world. We now have the capability of supplying all human need without a job. If you don't want war, most crimes, unemployment, all the conditions that you have today, you must eventually declare all the Earth's resources as the common heritage of all the world's people and take away all the artificial boundaries that separate people. The Great Depression in 1929, when the banks failed in America, millions of people were unemployed, sleeping in every empty lot, and the veterans marched on Washington. World War I wanted their bonus. The government couldn't give it to them, so they were sleeping all around the Capitol, and they didn't look good. So the government said, "Get them out of there." To Douglas MacArthur, who I think was a captain, he asked them to leave. They said, "Not till we get our pension." So they didn't leave, and he threw tear gas at the veterans. Not he, but the Army. And to me, that didn't look right. And it didn't look right to see, when the banks failed, all these 15 million Americans sleeping in every empty lot. And the stores had radios, television sets, not television, but they had radios, controllers, and people didn't have the money to buy them. The banks failed. And they made down payments on the home, they bought cars, but when the banks failed, they couldn't pay them off. So they were asked to leave. And every empty lot was filled with people. And they were talking about socialism, communism, fascism, mankind united, all kinds of ideas were up on soapboxes. So as a kid, I was listening to all these ideas. So I asked a lot of questions like, under communism, how would you prevent corruption? No one answered. They said, well, when that time comes, we'll work on it. I said, how are you going to house millions of people? Oh, when that time comes, we'll work on it. So I suggested that we start a technical branch to work on how to solve those problems. They said, you're deviating from the teachings of Marx. You'll have to leave. So I had to leave. But the vice president of the Young Communist League said, let's hear him out. They kicked us both out. So that was our experience. I would say they were stupid because I really would help any organization, anyone in any country, because my allegiance is to the earth and all the people of the world. I am not a patriotic American. I know that George Washington had 300 slaves. George Washington, President of the United States, and he had millions of dollars. He was not a good person. He was an aristocrat. And you couldn't vote in America unless you owned land in the old days. unless you're a property owner. And so I saw every inch of the way fights for women's rights, black rights, international cooperation, everything. They had child labor in America, children working in factories Saturday, Sunday, no day off. And people marched for the rights, always marching for the rights. And I didn't understand why the government was not at the forefront of knowledge. Like when you fly in an airplane, you don't have the right to pilot and tell him you've been flying at an angle for 2 hours, straighten up. He knows his business. The people in Washington should know history of civilization, education, restoring the oceans, oceanographers, but they're all businessmen and politicians, and they know nothing. So I tried asking them questions. I said, how would you prevent forest fires? I don't know. How would you grow more food for people? I don't know. How would you prevent automobile accidents? I don't know. So I figured maybe politics was good 100 years ago, but today our problems are technical. Everything that you have today, electric lights, washing machine, television, airplanes, all technical. And people say to me, you want to give people things for nothing. I said, look, if you're born in any developed country, you got the telephone, the automobile, the airplane. You didn't make any of those things. You got it for nothing. Does it hurt you? No. So I think we have the capability, if we use our resources intelligently, to take care of everyone, including, I believe that the industrialists and the capitalists will live far better under the Venus Project than they do under the present system. The Venus Project, if you don't want war, most crimes, unemployment, all the conditions that you have today, you must eventually declare all the Earth's resources as the common heritage of all the world's people and take away all the artificial boundaries that separate people. In that way, before that, ask questions like, where did America get America from? They took it from the Indians, killed a lot of Indians, starved 50 million buffalo, and forced the Indians into the desert. Then we took California by force and violence, and New Mexico from Mexico. After we, America, stole all the land we needed, we put up the sign, thou shalt not steal. So I think that's true of England, France, Germany. All nations took land from other nations that were stronger. So there's no single nation I uphold. I think they're all basically corrupt because of the nature of money. For example, if I owned a factory and I had a faster method of producing than you did, if I share it with you, I would lose my competitive edge. Do you understand that? So if everybody's out for themselves, if you have a dental infection, somebody makes $1,500 correcting it. If you have poor eyesight, somebody makes money selling eyeglasses. The whole damn thing is predatory to me. It doesn't look sane. It looks unsane, not insane. Unsane means if you're brought up that way.